It is really easy to confuse the difference between a KPI when you actually want an OKR, or you go for an OKR and say you need a KPI. And honestly, you might not have heard either one of those acronyms before, and that's okay. The truth is, OKRs and KPIs are not the same thing. Hell, you might not have ever even heard those things before. But if you treat them like they are the same thing, you're probably going to stall the business. So let's talk about it. I can't tell you how many times I've been in a leadership meeting where I've heard the leadership team bragging about hitting all their KPIs. A KPI is a key performance indicator. It's going to say things like, hey, our booking rate's solid, or our average ticket is this, or our callback percentage is low. That's awesome. But sometimes even when those things are good, the company still kind of finds themselves kind of just treading water. And the main reason why with a KPI, you're kind of looking in the rear view. It's telling you what's already happened. They're not really designed to give you a picture of where you're heading. On the other hand, companies who are not wanting to stay stable, so they're wanting to grow, like maybe grow revenue by 50% or go into new markets, you're going to want to use what's called an OKR, or objectives and key results. Now, the problem with these is they sound good on paper, like you want to grow your revenue by 50%, but there's not really a good way to tie it back to behavior and daily actions that your team's actually doing. And because of that, nothing really changes, right? So honestly, maybe one of the simplest ways to think about this is an OKR is the destination. It's the mountain you're climbing this quarter, this year, whatever it is. But the KPIs are your dashboard. They're the gauge telling you if you're still on track. So like if your OKR is to grow by 20% this quarter, your KPI is going to dial that in to actually make it happen. So it's going to be measuring things like lead volume, close rate, average ticket size, margin, things like that. But if you have one without the other, like if you only have KPIs, it's like having a speedometer in your car, but you don't really know where you're going. Or if you have OKRs without the KPIs, then you might just be daydreaming, but you really have no means to get there. The reality is they're very different from each other, but they're both very important. So like if I'm driving right now, the difference would be a KPI would be my speedometer, but the OKR would be my GPS. So to kind of get your head around it, here's what I'd encourage you to do. Pick one OKR for the next 90 days. Then you're going to tie 3 to 5 KPIs to the OKR that are actually going to move the needle. Be careful not to do things that are just easy to accomplish. You actually want to know you're making the progress. So using the GPS metaphor, you want to know that you're actually pointed in the right direction and you're chipping away at your time to destination, not just blocking your car up on chocks trying to spin your tires. And then every week, pull the team together and actually review them. That's how you're going to stop running in circles. And honestly, this is exactly the work we do at Eightfold Advantage. We help founders and leaders get really clear on where they're going and then help them build a scorecard so they know how to get there. So like if you're tired of just spinning your tires or daydreaming about your next destination, maybe it's time to jog.